Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. And today we want to address the sell side of a binary options contract. So, with the sell side, we have to understand that this is an exchange. Um, that the Nadex isn't who pays our payouts if you're on the winning end of a trade, but it's just people like you and myself that handle the risk reward portions of the exchange and if you can win or lose. So I think the problem with the sales side of a binary options contract or the confusion is why would someone want to be on the sales side of a binary options contract, specifically in cases where they're selling a contract at a very low price, and that's their maximum reward. Yet they're risking, uh, almost $100 in some cases. Well, to try and help you understand that, uh, it's basically based on probability. We have to look at the probability. Generally, contracts. Um, he basically believes that there's no way that strike price is going to be met, and that's based on the how far off the strike the price of the option. Here, if you look at the bottom of the screen, it shows here that in this particular trade, that the maximum profit is $16.50, but the maximum loss is $93. And that's exactly what I'm talking about there. Why would a person as a seller want his maximum profit to only be $16 or $18, but he could lose upwards to $90? Well, again, this is all based on probability. Now, if you look at the bottom of the screen where it says the maximum loss is $92, it's actually, because we're going on the valuation of $100 contract, it's actually probability wise also saying that basically it's a 92% chance can win. That's basically how the math works out. But you also have, when an option when a seller is selling at that price, when he's selling that cheap and that low, that means that the strike price is a great deal from where the market feels it's going to be. And that's why it's reflected in the price. And that's how come you can pick up the option so cheap, which is why I've warned against buying very cheap options. I know some people look at the cheap options and they might go, hey, this is a very low price and I can win up to like $100, but the market has taken all that into consideration. So those are very risky options. um, so that's basically why a seller would want to sell. Now, um, to cover a few more things with the seller of an option, is what happens if the trade goes, the wrong direction. It doesn't go down, but it goes up, especially with sale being focused on the direction of the market going down. That's why you're selling, because you believe the market and that option will go down. But if it goes up, of course, you're going to have to pay your maximum loss, and how that's handled is the $100 contract is basically collateralized by the seller of the contract. Okay, so his $100 is already on the line. It's taken out of his account. Now, in the event he doesn't have the $100, the trade won't even be able to go through. So once he's written that contract, once he's put that option out there, those $100 are already taken out of his account. It doesn't come from the Nadex again. The Nadex is an exchange. it's people again like you and myself who are putting up this money. So they feel so confident when they sell these contracts at these prices that they're going to be successful in their trade. That and probability is on their side when selling, because the market has priced that option that way, and that strike price is, generally going to be a long way off. Now, it could be a Hail Mary situation where the market just does something unexpected, and the trade could go the other way. That's the risk that the seller is taking. But that's just some insight on why we have sellers of contracts like this and why these things happen. And they happen because it's probability wise, it's on this seller's side to pick up. He's only going to get premium. If you look at the bottom of the screen again, it's only around about $14 now, but he's willing to sell at that price because he's going to get that premium, you know, no matter, that's gonna be his realized profit, right? Now let's say if you're the seller of a crack and you want to get out early, like in the case where he's selling his contract. Let's say that it dropped to well, it's now around $10. Let's say it dropped to like $5, something like that, and probably at that point it'd be probably best for him just to wait the contract out. But just for an example, if it dropped to like $5, he could go ahead and take his profits then, or whatever it was. If it was at $50 and it went down to $30, and he decided to take his profits, because basically what that would be saying is the reason he would be able to take a profit off of that, because let's say if he sold it at $50 and it went down to $30, because he's banking on the market going down, going below the strike price. He's doing a sell order. So if it was at $50 and let's say for example it went down to $30, and his best realized profit is for the option to expire with him still in the money. That's what he's. But let's just say he was already in profits. He sold at 50, which means that the buyer of the contract actually paid him $50. It went down to 30, which means he was in the money. He could basically go in the market and buy the contract at 30 to get out of the contract. He would buy it at 30, and then he would have to subtract the money he's paid to buy the contract from what he's already been paid for the contract. So then it would be 50 minus 30, and he'd have a profit of $20 where he could have got out, before the contract expired. So that's why we get somebody on the other side of that contract, because they feel that there's a good chance the market will go in their favor and they will win. But specifically, I think the confusing part was when the contracts are very low, like in this particular contract where the maximum profit is $5, $6, and contracts like that, a person is going to be selling that contract for that amount of money, so because they can realize a much higher profit with the market, because it's in their favor that the market's going to continue to decrease. So I hope that helps some. If you have any questions about about binary options trading specifically, the sell size of contract, please feel free to leave them in the comment section. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and stay tuned for more binary options videos. All right, take care, guys.